So a couple hours have gone by. I've gotten the axle out. Uh, just detached all the arms. Biggest thing is remember disconnect your e-brake cable. I've got the ABS sensor, so I had to disconnect that from the housing. And the brake line to the proportioning valve, which I have a manual proportioning valve, which I will be replacing the auto proportioning valve with a Willwood manual proportioning valve, just because with the 63s they're going to be too flexy to really rely on that for braking power. So with the limited travel that the axle had before, the braking was set by how much the body leaned. But since we're going to be lifting it and changing all the geometries, I'm just going to get rid of that, and I've got a Willwood proportioning valve that will actually set the rear proportioning from somewhere between 0 and 80%. It's just got a manual screw thread. I'll show that when I install it. What we've got here is the rough stuff: perches, French leaf hangers for the front, and the rear shackle hangers to go with the leaf springs. I've got 5-inch shackles, painted it up already. Bump stops from Trail Gear, and hard stops from Trail Gear, along with the U-bolts and everything else. This kit sold for like $400. The springs were from the junkyard. I added an $80 add-a-leaf for a 2-inch lift, and that got me about, all in all, like $550 to be able to change this out. I got these springs. The pair of them were off of a Tahoe half-ton. Springs were 98 Tahoe, and they cost me $125 for the pair. So I cleaned them up, painted them again, cut down the overload like I said before, and now we have energy suspension polyurethane bushings to go replace the bushings that were in there. They were tough to get out, but I cut the end of them off and then just pounded them out with a hammer, and it only took me half an hour to get them out. So yeah, we're at the point now where I need to torch off all the brackets on the axle, torch off all the brackets on the frame that are in the way. I have to measure for shocks. I haven't bought shocks yet. In my pile of crap, I've got, here it is, low range off-road. Yep, got my crap, along with the messy Bridgeport mill. If you have a Bridgeport, you know how great these things are. You can make just about anything, including another Bridgeport on a Bridgeport mill. But here's this is going to be the shock mount bracket for the top. So it's got 3 positions. It was cheap. I was going to make my own, but it was cheaper than making my own. So yeah. If you have a Bridgeport, I've got a lathe as well in my garage. You can just about make anything. I got a power feed unit for it. DRO. Nice Sony scales on it. Yeah, it's one of the best things in the world. If you have one of those, you can make just about anything on it. So I have that. I've got a pretty decent welder. I've got a 30-pound spool with a wire feed separate from the power unit. I got this at an auction, and it's got like 30 feet of cable that goes with it as well. So that's what I weld. It's a auto sensing 220 or 480 single or 3-phase. And it does pulsed MIG welding. It's more than the average home gamer needs, but it's pretty awesome. I have been offered a lot of money for it, but I keep going back to the fact that I could never buy a unit this good for myself, so it was well worth it. I paid $900 for it at an auction. Then I also have I've got a mess of a garage right now. I also have a 9-inch swing lathe, which is really handy for being able to do 4-wheel drive parts, bushings, and whatever else you need for making parts. Yep, well, tune in for some more updates. I'll be getting this thing cleaned up, all the brackets cut off, weld up new hanger mounts, and we're going to get this thing on 63-inch Chevy springs.